Hello, Human Growth and Development students. My name is Melissa Hess, and I will be your professor this semester of Spring 2020. I am excited to get started with you all, as this is such an important course. If you are going to become a teacher, if you are going to be in a relationship with someone in the future, or if you're going to have children, because it really does talk about human growth from conception all the way to death. And so if you are planning on working with humans ever in your life, this course will be a really good fit for you. So as we are looking at the syllabus, you can, of course, find the syllabus on the Canvas page, but I just wanted to point out a few things. Of course, we have all of our syllabus norms right there. Some things for you to notice: where my office is located and my email address. Please email me if you have the smallest question and I'll get back to you. Office hours Tuesdays and Wednesdays 10 to 1. If one of those times doesn't work for you, let me know and I will make sure I am there when it works for you. This is the textbook that you need to purchase, and you also need to purchase the Smart Book apps that go with that, so you can do the learning modules online through our textbook company here. Normal things: it's a 3-hour class, but there are no labs. Your prereq is there, and then these are all standards that we care about. This is something that you care about. The class is based on 1,000 points, as you can see, and you can kind of see where you're going to land here. As we work our way through the semester, I will always make sure that your grades are up to date and your assignments are graded as quickly as I possibly can, so you always know when or how you are doing. Important note right here: the teacher education program uses a grading scale that might be different, so make sure that you are looking at that real well. And then right here, this is all of our assignments and how you're going to earn those 1,000 points. And so you can see item 1 is an introduction, and you can correlate that down here. 2 is our goal and plan, and that's there. So on your own, you can look at that. Things that I want to point out: you're just going to simply introduce yourself to the rest of the class on a Canvas discussion. This needs to be done by the end of this week. All of the assignments are due on Sunday by midnight, and this might be something that you need to do fresh out of the gate, so make sure that that is done within that first week. The next thing that you have is your goal, plan, and final reflection. There's 10 points for the original goal and plan and 10 points for your reflection. You don't get points if you've made your goal. You just get points if you set goals for yourself, and then if you reflected on those. And so, of course, there is going to be on Canvas, you will be able to find what points you're writing on, but that is also due on that first week. This course is run very much that you are going to do the same things every week. I think an online course is helpful if you can follow a pattern, and so you can get into a system of how this course is run. And so the same things are going to happen every week. You are going to read the chapter that the module or the week is coordinated with, and then you're going to do this Smart Book assignment. This Smart Book assignment is the thing that I was talking about on why you need to purchase your textbook and then also log into the textbook's website and buy that specific package. On Canvas, I have put directions up there so you can know that you are buying the correct textbook and have access to this Smart Book assignment. This Smart Book assignment, what it's going to do is, after you read the chapter, it's going to basically give you a little prep quiz and see if you understand what you read, that you were comprehending it. It is worth 10 points a piece, and it happens every single week. You will notice that you spend some time on it, but please spend the time on it. It is worth 170 points cumulatively throughout the semester. So that's almost 20% of your grade. And then also what that does is it allows you to make sure that you're understanding the content, because we're not meeting face to face. It's really important to put the time in on different activities. And so this is one way that some of the learners in this classroom might excel. The next thing is chapter reflections. And so what I will do is I will provide a short, it'll be max 30 minutes, a short lecture each week, and that'll be through a video, a YouTube video that you can click on, and you can listen to it, take notes, and then I will pose a question at the end of each one of those lectures, and all you're going to do is type up the answer. One page, single spaced, just reflect. If you want to, you can cite from the textbook if you're kind of lost for thoughts, or you can cite from the lecture, but that lecture really does just coordinate with that chapter that you've read. But it's just another way for my learners to make sure that they're getting the content if you're reading it, and then you're also listening to a lecture that might help some of us. These developmental interviews happen 6 times throughout the semester. When they're not happening each week, one of these observation discussions will happen. And so you are going to have either one of these, but you'll never have them both on the same week. For the developmental interviews, you are going to choose 6 different people, and you're basically just going to interview them, and they're going to be the people that we are discussing that particular week. So if we are discussing elementary students, you're going to interview an elementary school student. If you need help finding people to interview, I will be here for you, and you can, I'll help set you up with certain people to interview. But really all this is doing is connecting the knowledge that you learned through the text and the lectures to real life experiences. Same thing with these. You are going to, when you're not doing one of those interviews, you're going to do a certain type of observation. Now, this is not an observation that you have to set up a time to go in an elementary school or a high school. It is things like watching a YouTube video, or making an observation in a public place like a library or a grocery store, and just noting what you see. So those 2 are things. Either one of these will happen each week, and then you'll end each week with some type of assessment. So you can see that there are typically a short chapter quiz, 10 points, multiple choice, just a way for you to immediately see, I took my quiz, I assessed myself, this is what I got, to see what you need to go back and maybe review before you leave that chapter and move on to the next chapter and the next module. Over the course of the semester, you will have 4 different unit tests, and those are just chapters that are grouped together. Each one is worth 75 points, and all of these things will have either been discussed in the chapter, in the lectures. And so that's why it's so important to do those smart book assignments, listen to the lecture, and just making sure you're getting your stuff done each week. At the end of the semester, you have a comprehensive final exam. If you have a 93% average on all of your unit tests, you do not have to take it. And that's something that we can discuss as we move throughout the semester and as we get closer. But if I were you, I would aim to that. I don't want to take that final exam. I'd make sure that you have that 93% average on your unit tests. So you can see here kind of what we've been talking about. You can see our first week of class, and that is Module 1, starting January 13th. You can see right here that these are the topic that's going to be discussed. Chapter 1 is just an introduction. And then every single week, you're going to read and answer. That's read the chapter and then answer the smart book questions. You're going to listen and reflect. You're going to listen to the lecture, and you're going to reflect on that 1-page reflection that's typed. And then you're going to observe and discuss. Sometimes it's those observations. Our first one is actually you finding something on YouTube. But you can see on week 3 down here that your observation is actually one of those interviews. Okay, and then you're going to end each week with assessing your learning. And so then there's a quiz. When there is not a quiz, is when there's a unit test, but we'll never do both of them. That's way too much assessment. So you can really see every single week is set up the same exact way: reading and answering, listening and reflecting, observing and discussing, and then assessing your learning. And that is our plan. We're going to stick to this pretty much as well as we possibly can. Something to look at, though, because this is an online class, even over spring break, we have assignments. So just kind of come to accept that now, that for us to get in all of our content over spring break, we do have stuff that we need to do. But then you will also see that our last week, we are smooth sailing, and some of you will do nothing on finals week if you do have that 93%. Of course, you have read your student honor code, our midterm grades. As I flip here in my notes, your midterm grades, I will put them in March 2nd, and they will be completed by March 17th. So just so you know how you're doing. My goal is for you to always know exactly how you're doing in this class by just looking at the grades. If I'm doing my job correctly and keeping the grades up to date, then you will always know how you're doing. If you want to make a grade appeal, final exam information is there. Non-attendance policy, make sure you've logged into Canvas, which if you're watching this video, you have. Something that you need to know, I can see when each student logs in and how long they've logged into Canvas. So please make sure that you are spending time on Canvas throughout the week. I do not need for you to log in every day by any means. An online class, one of the benefits is you're going to do what works best for you. And so maybe that means getting it all done on a Friday and a Saturday. Maybe that means 45 minutes each day. But just make sure that you are definitely spending time and the time you need to on an online course. Here's how the hours are broken down. That you are going to be doing. Each week you're going to be doing a weekly reading, your reflections, lectures, those smart book chapter assignments, quizzes, tests, and finals, your interviews, and your observations. So please just make sure that you have spent time on this course so you can make sure that you're getting what you want out of it. You've read diversity, sexual misconduct, all of that. These are all kind of the fine print things of our syllabi. Please, if you have any questions, please make sure you email me at my email address right there. I would love to meet with you personally, but that is not a requirement. But if you would ever like to meet and chat about the course, I would be happy to do so. And I would just like to say, welcome to human growth and development.